video in the studio for several months, 2 or 3 months. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about plastic pollution and how activists are now being thrown in jail for years for just even doing the slightest protest against it. Let's go over the board and see the details of just one particular arrest that happened in Louisiana. Louisiana, the state of Louisiana here in the U.S., is terrorizing environmentalists. In Louisiana, police charged peaceful protests with terrorism, or terrorizing, another new word, punishable by 15 years in prison. Ann and Kate left a box of plastic pellets on the doorstep of a fossil fuel lobbyist in 2019. Yes, a box of plastic pellets. They got them out of the river very close by, near where the plastic facility was cranking out all this junk to begin with. It ended up getting into the environment, and the environmentalists in Louisiana said enough's enough. They wanted to give a lobbyist a little taste of what they were lobbying for. This plastic was found near a coastal plastic facility. Here's the problem with these plastic parts. The plastic floats on the water for a while, and the sun breaks it down into smaller and smaller pieces, and as it gets into smaller pieces it sinks through the water column and starts to lay on top of the water, the mud, the bottom of the ocean, wherever it's in. And then it migrates down into the muds, where all the clams and bottom feeders live. And bottom feeders can't live on plastic. And other fish eat bottom fish, and other fish eat these fish. Then people come and in a boat and put fishing lines out, right, and catch fish, right, and then they eat the fish. So they're eating the plastic that's made at the plastic facilities in Louisiana. And Louisiana wants to charge Ann and Kate for terrorizing? What about the corporation who made all the junk in the first place? So this is just one example of what's happening to the environmental movement and why it seems so weak these days. Because if you go out and say anything or do anything, you get charged with terrorism or terrorizing or something like that. But the real culprits, the plastic producers who are killing off thousands and millions of fish and everything on the food chain, everything that's in that food chain ends up eating plastic and eventually gets sick and dies from eating the plastic. We've talked about this so many times, but on and on and on it goes. And of course, the ones that get punished are the environmentalists around the U.S. Just disgusting. But that's not all of the hell that's going on here in the U.S. of the Orange Man, the most deadliest president we have ever had. Another problem here in the U.S. is up in Alaska, where the Orange Man here in the U.S. is now going to, well, let's go look at the board and see the horrific details of his next proposal. The new Trump proposal: open up most of Alaska's western Arctic reserve to oil and gas drilling, including fracking. This will destroy the climate and the wildlife in Alaska, pretty much all of it. This is roughly 18.6 million acres of the Alaska Reserve on the western side of Alaska, up in the Arctic. All oil should stay in the ground. We have been hearing this over and over and over. But the people at the top aren't listening. They don't care about that. They care about the dollar and the dollar only. Earth Justice has gone to court on multiple occasions to defend the western Arctic. Now let's not forget that Obama put most of that reserve in place to protect this area from the oil drillers. If you want to contact Earth Justice, here's the address, phone number, and of course you can get them on this website. This is very serious and needs to be dealt with. All this opening up of drilling. He has opened up almost all of the oceans and almost every square foot of space in the U.S. And he wants oil drilling everywhere to make him look good, so that he becomes the one that made all this money for people while we live on a dead planet, pumping oil, driving and boating in sludge and plastic. It's coming, and it's coming faster and faster, not by the month, not by the year, but by the day. Every day we buy plastic or we use plastic and we throw it away on the ground or something. That's an absolute disaster for the rest of the environment. This is very sad, and unfortunately there are very few people that even care about this or talk about it. Hopefully we'll pass this on and let other people know about the Orange Man's destructive habits around the world and his disregard for the wildlife around the world, and he has no want for any reserves as he goes to Mount Rushmore to disgrace the people there. That's a disgrace to the American native people that live there. But yet the Orange Man just keeps bringing good things to life. I definitely do appreciate all the comments you guys leave. I read every one, and sometimes I even will respond. But once I respond, I can't see what you guys write back to me. But go ahead and write back anyway. I'll eventually be able to see it. YouTube, what a mess. It's so clogged with ads now. If you don't have a really good ad blocker, YouTube is useless. I will see everybody next time on Pink Bars.